Hey guys, this is Tyler.
And this is Megan.
We're Whiskey and Wonder. We just want to give you a little disclaimer before this next episode. This is not going to be one of our normal episodes. It's basically an explanation of why we have had an unexpected hiatus. If you're interested in what we're normally about, feel free to tune into any one of the other 95 episodes that we've recorded.
Correct. This is an episode more for listeners who are wondering what happened and where did we go and when are we coming back.
Yep. And if you guys would like to get to know us a little better, feel free to listen as well.
Yeah.
You're
going to learn a lot.
Yep. But yeah, so there's not a wonder segment in this episode if you guys are expecting that. So we hope you guys enjoy, and we'll see you next week.
We sure will. Bye, guys.
Welcome to Whiskey and Wonder.
All right. It's been 65,000 years, but we're back from our unexpected hiatus.
We are back. Hello, hello. We are Whiskey and Wonder.
Yes. I'm Tyler.
And I'm Megan.
You just saw that on the screen. And if you can't tell, I'm a little under the weather.
A little bit. Your voice is a little messed up.
Yep.
And mine's been going in and out today, so I don't know if I'm going to get squeaky at any point, but we'll find out.
Yep. It's been a little bit of a rough weekend for me, but we're here. And so we actually are going to change things up on this episode a little bit. And we're not actually going to do a full episode. We're basically just going to fill you in on why we ended up taking an unexpected hiatus and just yeah, we are going to review a whiskey this week, and we got something special here. So we're going to just dive right on in, and unless Megan has anything else she wants to talk about first, or we'll go ahead and dive into the whiskey.
No, I'm good. Let's go ahead and dive into the whiskey, and then we'll explain what happened.
Opening the bottle.
Well, guys, today we are drinking an old friend brand. We are drinking Jack Daniel's, which was my OG whiskey. This is Jack Daniel's Bonded Tennessee whiskey. So Jack Daniel's Bonded Tennessee whiskey and triple mash blended straight whiskey are the first two permanent expressions in the brand's Bonded series. According to the company's press release, each expression is distilled in Lynchburg, Tennessee, in the same distilling season, aged to the stipulations of the Bottled in Bond Act, and then blended and bottled at 100 proof. Jack Daniel's Bonded is the same mash bill as their standard No. 7 Tennessee whiskey. However, according to company barrels used for Bonded, are hand-selected for their characteristics of deeper color, flavor, and aroma, which deliver a darker, richer, and more oak-forward character. Both new expressions are bottled in 700 milliliter bottles, which deviates from the U.S. standard of 750 and instead aligns to the more international standard of bottle.
Yes, these are slightly smaller so that they can ship them internationally.
Correct. So the Jack Daniel's Bonded is a quote unquote release for the brand. Jack Daniel's Tennessee whiskey is extraordinarily popular and was even named the most valuable spirits brand in the world by one account. At the same time, it just wouldn't be surprising if many of us still just think of it as Jack and Coke. But the fact that the Jack Daniel distillery is making some of the best whiskey on the planet, and with their expansion into the bourbon and whiskey enthusiast realm, they're continually earning their stripes among even the most critical critics. And so, Bonded takes everything about its lower proof counterpart and turns it up. And turns up the volume on it without dramatically deviating from what you would expect it to be. So this is Jack Daniel's Bonded.
So just to give people some reference here, and I apologize in advance. Like I said, I've been under the weather all week. I still am coughing.
Like that.
Yep, just like that. Sorry, I'm gonna sneezing as well. My eyes are watering. I'm gonna try not to do any of that into the microphone. I also might have to blow my nose again. I'm going to not do that into the microphone. I'm gonna try to turn around in my chair for that. I also want to make one other quick note is that we are trying something new with the cameras. We have got different cameras set up in different configurations, and so far we've had some issues with them automatically shutting off that I cannot figure out. So the feed might lose for a minute, but it will come back. Now, back to the whiskey. This is 100 proof. I don't know if Megan mentioned that.
Briefly, I did.
Okay, I've got this bottle, and as you can tell from the back, it's basically half gone. I've had it for a while. I've shared it with my Thursday night crew, and we've actually sampled it twice now, but that's been the main drinking of it for me. So I've actually only had this twice. I just took a sniff and smelled definitely some banana.
I'd 100% get banana and caramel, like a bananas Foster going on. But there's something, I don't know if it's like mental, but there's something that just, when I smell it, I think, yeah, that's Jack Daniels. And I don't know what. Jack, to me, just has a unique Jack smell.
Jack Daniels is the only whiskey I've ever smelled with the banana. You've got the...
Is it the only whiskey with banana?
We've done a couple, but they've all been Jack. They've been either Jack Single Barrel or Jack Barrel Proof or Jack Bonded that have all had that banana smell for me.
Okay, maybe.
So maybe that's what
Jack.
you're associating with Jack. Oh, Captain Jack Morgan.
No.
Barrow.
So I'm getting a lot of banana. I'm getting caramel. There's definitely like a toasty wood in there. I don't know if it's like an oak or I don't know. It's some sort of toasty wood. And then I'm getting a bit of pine, I think, like pine needle pine. Yeah, no.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
You can't smell it.
I can smell the banana. I get a little bit of spice in the back that's kind of opening my sinuses up just a little. So maybe it's a lot of spice. I don't know. But for me, it's mainly banana and just kind of that typical sweet vanilla aroma of a bourbon.
Okay. Well, from this website that I'm reading, we are supposed to be smelling sweet caramel, vanilla, and the quintessential Jack Daniels banana scent. So apparently the whiskey world also says that banana is a Jack thing.
Oh, yeah. And I think I talked about this in one of the older episodes, but Shelby and I actually toured this distillery earlier this year when we went to visit her brother in Tennessee. So I have been there. I've seen where it comes from. I've seen their process, and it is a lovely place. If you ever are in central Tennessee and get a chance to go down to Lynchburg, it's awesome. And definitely pay up for the top of the line tour. I think it was $40, and we got to see everything and try 4 or 5 different whiskeys, which I think we've done. We did regular Jack, single barrel, single barrel rye, single barrel proof, and the Sinatra blend. And we've done everything on the show except for the Sinatra blend and the rye.
Have we not done the rye?
No, we have not.
No.
I can find it pretty regularly, so I haven't pulled the trigger on that. And we did regular Jack when we compared it was a special. We compared a lot of common bourbons and ranked them. We haven't actually done it as a standalone episode yet, so So Megan's been sipping. What you sipping on?
So the finish to me, I definitely get a banana finish. But in the middle is like charcoal. Lots of charry, burnt, charcoaly, char. And that's been kind of throwing me off because it's very. Normally, I think of Jack and I think like very sweet and smooth, and this is a little ashy. It's ashy.
Really? You don't get that with any other Jack?
I just not to this extent, and I don't know. Not to this
So-
extent.
The reason I ask that is because obviously, as I mentioned, Jack Daniels is made in Lynchburg, Tennessee, and what's the county process?
I don't know.
Anyway, there's a there's a process. The Lincoln County process is what it's called. I'm pretty sure that is unique to Tennessee, where Jack Daniels is made, where they filter it through a charcoal filter. So all Tennessee whiskey has
that
to
charcoal.
go through the Lincoln County. Lincoln.
Maybe I'm not as surprised, or maybe I'm more surprised than I should be. I don't know. I just was expecting, I guess, something a little bit different.
Yep. The Lincoln County process is used in producing almost all Tennessee whiskeys. It's filtered through or steeped in charcoal chips before going into the casks for aging. Because I actually watched how Jack Daniels makes their own charcoal. So I tasted, when I sipped on it, I definitely got banana. Which is interesting because I did not notice the banana the last time I had it. My palate had also been ruined at that point by multiple different types of beer.
Whoops.
Yeah, I got a lot of banana and I got a lot of burn in the back of the throat this time. I definitely got some of the char as well mixed in with the burn. But it wasn't anything overpowering. It wasn't. It didn't. The burn didn't turn me off from it. It might have been a little more intense for me since my throat's probably very dry.
Yeah.
Been breathing through it all week. So.
Well, we are supposed to be tasting maple sugar candy, toasted marshmallow, caramel, burnt oak, and then banana. This says that it airs more on the sweeter side. But I don't know if I would say that this, I guess maybe, okay, I kind of get what they're saying. It's very intense in the alcohol burn, but I guess flavor-wise it is on the sweeter side. So like, okay, I can pick up what they're putting down. I got it.
Yeah, I would agree with that wholeheartedly. So there is a reason that we chose this particular whiskey for this particular episode. I subscribe to a magazine called Whiskey Advocate, and they just recently released their Whiskey of the Year. And you'll never guess what it was.
Is it the Jack Daniels Bonded?
Jack Daniels Bonded. So I said, well, that's a perfect time to pull that one out of the cabinet and let us
Give it a
try
shot.
it and see how we think it stacks up.
I guess we'll have to see. We'll have to sip on it a little bit as we talk, and then at the end we're gonna see if maybe this is gonna end up on our best of the year.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, we have to do that.
Yep. So, all right. On that note, like I said, we're not going to have a wonder segment this week. It's been so long. We're going to detail why we've been on a hiatus. So,
This is our welcome back episode.
yes, this is our welcome back episode. That's a good way of phrasing it.
The open segment.
All right, guys. So I know this isn't going to be the episode you expect, but life's been lifing pretty darn hard and pretty intensely this past 2 months for sure. But I mean, all year it's been very lifey going on.
It tends to do that.
Life slapped me in the face. So, I mean, you guys were all here for, Squish Brain, and I got COVID, and I mean, like, weird health stuff's going on. But, well, I mean, before I get into everything, Tyler, do you want to say anything about your life?
Yeah, sure. If you can't tell, I'm not the reason we went on hiatus. Not to like point fingers or
No,
anything.
he is not. This is 100% my fault, my doing. I did it. It's me. I'm the problem. It's me.
We've all been there, Megan. It's fine. No, my life's just been a blur. Everything blends together. Honestly, I can't even remember what I did this, last week, let alone
A month ago?
a month and a half ago. Yeah. Let me look back through my calendar on my phone. I've been fortunate enough to get to go to several of the Charlotte Checkers games.
That's exciting.
Yep. We have a very good friend, Shelby and I, who has season tickets, and he's nice enough to offer them up when they're not able to attend. So we're very thankful that he's allowed us to go to a couple games. I recently got into a club that I've been trying to get into I've been on the wait list for a couple months now, and I finally got into the club. It's a cigar club, so
Neat.
that's fun. Thanksgiving happened. That happened.
God, yeah, it did.
Yeah, I forgot about that. It didn't feel like Thanksgiving to me. It felt like there was a whole thing that happened at Thanksgiving, and it was just very awkward. Like I've hosted all the holidays. I think I've talked about that on here. I bought a house in the middle of my family, and so they all gathered at my place for every holiday, whether it was talked about or not.
Tyler's.
Yep. And I think the last time was Father's Day, and I really wasn't alerted it was happening here until last minute, and I was pretty pissed about it.
By the way, we're coming to your house, and you are hosting all of us.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
And I just wasn't really happy about it. So my family made the decision, again, not as last minute as Father's Day, but almost as last minute, that we would not do Thanksgiving here after I had already bought the fucking ham to cook. Yes, we're a ham family, not a turkey family. Sorry. And I was like, well, goddamn, what do I do with this fucking ham? Which is still in my freezer outside.
Oh, I guess you haven't ate the ham.
No, I haven't. I've put them down for Christmas. Christmas is happening here, and I'm making the goddamn
Make
ham.
that
now.
ham.
So anyway, so we did Thanksgiving at my dad's house, and it just didn't feel like Thanksgiving. The whole timing of it zoomed up, and suddenly it was like it's Thanksgiving Day, and we're all gathered, and then we're gone. And honestly, the only interaction me and my dad really had the entire day was an argument. It was a politically fueled argument.
Oh no!
Not that we even fall on the opposite sides of the spectrum necessarily, but he's just a super fucking, I don't even want to say radical, just dumb right winger that listens. He's the stereotypical right winger that listens to Fox News and Trump can do no wrong. And it's like, dude, we got into an argument about inflation and how Trump just kicked the can down the road on inflation, and that was basically our only interaction.
Oof.
And then interestingly, he brought so Shelby made mashed potatoes and used my crock pot, and we both forgot about it and left it there, and he brought it to my house the next day. No notice, no nothing, but we weren't there. And so he just kind of surprised the hell when I got a text and said, I left your crock pot on your porch. I think he had come to make up, but I wasn't home, and we haven't really talked since then, honestly. But yeah, so we kind of pissed each other off, and it just, it didn't feel like Thanksgiving one bit.
Well, I mean, in a kind of alternate fairness, my Thanksgiving was very bizarre from what I was used to, too. And I'll get into more of the specifics once I talk about everything that happened. But this was the first time I spent Thanksgiving with friends and not
Yeah, I'm curious. Was
family.
that before or after? That was after.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. All right. So I'm gonna like I said, guys, not much has really happened with me. It's been day to day for me. So I'm gonna cut my story short here. I am gonna say that I knew what went on with Megan in the broad sense. She told me broadly what was happening. I didn't know the details until today.
Yes, and we had a heart-to-heart before we recorded, and I told him what was going on and like what my life was like and everything before we hit record, because I didn't really want to cry on air for all of you to listen to me bawl. Oh, but he's moving the toilet paper closer to me because there's the potential.
So before you said, I'm having to carry a roll of toilet paper because I'm dumb and don't have like puffs with lotion, and so I gave all the boxes away. Actually, my parents got COVID, and I took all the boxes I had out there. So now I'm just rubbing my nose raw with toilet paper. But yes, I have a roll of toilet paper that's followed me around for a week.
And I got some in case I need some, as I tell you guys about my life.
So, Megan, take it away.
Man, I don't know where to start or how much to tell everyone or where.
Do you want to be big?
Do I want to be big?
Do you want to be big for this?
Oh, fuck. No, not really.
Okay, that's fine. That's why I asked.
Keep it standard open segment. We're on the same playing field
All
here,
right.
even though this is all about me. Guys, I literally flipped my entire world upside down and kicked it down a flight of stairs and murdered it and restarted. I hit the reset button on life as much as you can while still occupying the same body. And I guess I should apologize that I have not been as great doing Whiskey and Wonder stuff this year, especially as the year went on, as I have been in the past. I'm going to go ahead and let everyone know that years ago, I had decided that surviving past 30 was not in the cards for me. And so as my 30th birthday got closer and closer, I just started giving up more and more and more on life. And I knew that it wasn't going to matter anyway, because I was not going to stick around. And so I dropped the ball on everything in my life, from Whiskey and Wonder to my career to my friendships to D&D. Everything just kind of, I just started to give up on. And I apologize for that. But that's where all the ball dropping stemmed from. You know, my plan since I was 13 years old had been to not make it this far. And that obviously all changed, and it changed hard and it changed fast.
Fortunately for us.
Yeah. So guys, I guess I just need to come out and say, the 11-year relationship with Houston that I've talked about on here is no more. And that it hurts and is painful. And it was something though that needed to be done and probably should have been done sooner than it was. I was not as good to him as he was to me, and I was kind of just coasting through life, and I'd let my life stagnate, and I was just somewhere where I was comfortable and I was safe, but I was not happy, and I was not allowing myself to be happy. And that was not fair of me to
put that on somebody else, put that burden.
Yes, that was not fair of me to put that burden on someone else. And so I am so apologetic for that and for everything. But I thought that that's just what life was for me. I didn't think there was the possibility or the potential to feel anything other than the way I felt because I'd never had. And I'd tried to be happy before, and it just never was a thing that existed. So it just wasn't in the cards for me. And I'd never talked a whole lot about my sexuality on here. I had come to the conclusion that I was ace. I was an asexual person. I was just not into that aspect of things. And I loved Houston dearly. He was my best friend. But, I mean, I did not give him the love he deserved because I didn't think I could. And like I said, my world got flipped completely upside down.
And I'd like to take a minute, just sit right there. Sorry, I could not. When you said my life got flipped, I wanted to go and turn upside down. I'm sorry, guys. I'm the comic relief in this story.
Thank God we need a little bit of it.
Well, I felt like I feel like it's a very, very real, and obviously it's a very personal story. So I kind of want people to get those awkward pauses in there, and so, but I do, it gives them the gravity of that situation. But I am going to chime in every so often with some comic relief.
Thank you, Tyler. And if you're a new listener to Whiskey and Wonder and you've not followed our story, how about you skip this episode and go back and listen to a different one, or wait until we have another one out, because this is not your episode. This is not the episode to start Whiskey and Wonder on. This is not Whiskey and Wonder. This is not who we are.
Yeah, I might actually put a disclaimer at the beginning.
That's actually probably a good idea. But this is our welcome back episode. This is not Whiskey and Wonder. This is Megan dumping all of her trauma.
That's okay. We haven't recorded. I mean, honestly, other than a couple texts, we haven't even talked in
forever.
Yeah, it's been basically since the last time we recorded.
Yeah.
Just a couple text messages here and there. You gave me some of the just what was going on, and me just trying to make sure you were okay, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
So we're catching up just as much as you guys are catching up. So.
Yep. And here's where I'm going to throw Tyler off, because I know Tyler is a realist, and I don't know how exactly he feels about love at first sight and soulmates and things like that. And I can tell you he probably is a little bit more skeptical. Just knowing Tyler, I would think that, I don't know. Maybe I'm just talking shit and I'm not in the right for it.
I don't subscribe to it for me.
Okay. Fair.
I'm not saying it doesn't exist for other people, but for me, it doesn't exist.
Okay. Fair. I also thought that it didn't exist. And I thought it was a fever dream and the shit like that. It's movies, it's fairy tales, it's books. It doesn't happen until it did. And when I tell you guys, there was this woman who I was supposed to meet to do an evaluation with her dog. And I walked out of the office to go and meet her, and I locked eyes with her, and I felt everything inside me shift and snap and break and resettle into place.
Yeah, it sounds like you had an internal earthquake.
It's what it was. Like, I literally looked at her and I knew that my life was going to be different. And I fought that. God, I fought the hell out of that because I was comfortable in my miserable life. Like, I didn't want anything else. I did not want something drastic like that to happen. But I looked at this woman across the room and I felt my entire fucking being shift and come into focus. And I physically felt my soul latch onto hers. Like, it was a visceral, real sensation. And I fucking panicked. And I looked at her and I felt all that and I went, nope. And I turned around and I walked away. And I walked back into the office and proceeded to have a mental breakdown. That included a massive gay panic, on top of a crisis of morals and everything else. And I literally was in that office for 30 minutes, freaking out and panicking and like losing my absolute mind. And for some reason, when I came back out of the office, she was still there waiting, even though now I was 30 minutes late to her appointment. And she was pissed. You could tell she was pissed, but she waited. And I got my shit together-ish and went over and I talked to her, and it was like I'd known her my entire life. The instant, immediate connection, immediately, like I just knew I knew her, and I was terrified of that feeling, but I knew her. And I decided, well, I was going to keep knowing her. And she became a client. I was going to work with her and her dog and her wife. And I was going to bury everything inside me and pretend like it didn't happen. And I was just going to be her friend for the next few months as that I survived. And that was it. I was just going to have a really good friend to like finish out my life. And, well, I'm still here, so something changed. So we became inseparable, best friends. Like, I talked to her constantly. She talked to me constantly. Like, we just instantly started understanding each other. And it was a magical thing to experience. I'd never felt such an insane reaction or connection to someone that I felt to her. And again, I buried all of my actual feelings, and I was not going to bring them up or anything along those lines. Like, nope. Well, we became really good friends, best friends, and hung out. The more I got to know her, and the more I got to know her, the more I fell harder and harder and harder and more and more in love with her. And I knew that was really bad, because I was in a committed relationship and I was being someone who I absolutely hated. And I want to go ahead and say, like, I at no point, nothing happened between me and this girl until separations were happened. I'm going to go ahead and say that now before all of you, like, absolutely hate me. There was 100% emotional cheating that happened, but we did not physically cheat until things were done on both ends of our lives. So anyway, before we get to that point, she was not happy in her life, just as I was not happy in my life. And one night, I got drunk. I was a little too much into the whiskey part of Whiskey and Wonder. And,
We've all been there.
and in my genius, we had just got done playing D&D at her house. And in my genius, I was like, I can't do it anymore. I can't just not tell her how I feel. I'm going to text her. I'm going to drunk text her. I'm going to tell her everything I feel and everything I've ever thought. And then I'm going to just say goodbye to this friendship and cut it off and we're done.
You decided you were going to drunk text her? I've never.
I mean, as a drunk person.
Yeah, okay.
Being drunk, I was like, I'm going to text you this.
Okay.
And
yeah.
I basically planned to obliterate our friendship because what else could happen after that?
Sorry, my dog is.
Bo is in the closet.
Yeah, he's in the closet. Oh, he's sniffing some candles.
I just came out of the closet.
No, you didn't.
I mean, okay, fine, fair.
You've said that on here before
I
many
know.
times.
Okay, fair. Anyway. Sorry, I had to take a sip of whiskey.
No, you're fine. I had to cough
and you
at
had
the
to
same
cough,
time,
so we'd both just
yep.
awkward.
Yeah.
So I drunk texted her everything I thought and everything I felt, and I was like, okay, well, this is the end of our friendship. Good night. And fully expected to hear back from her either I don't feel that way about you, or fuck off, you're the worst, or something along those lines. And I heard back the opposite. There was a reason why she stuck around for 30 minutes that day when I walked back into the office. And she had felt that same snap connection that I had. And now all of a sudden, the two of us had a big dilemma because we both were falling in love with each other. And that was not supposed to happen. So we talked it out and we decided that we were going to get through the holidays and everyone was going to have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And then in January, we'd reevaluate everything and try again. Except for the fact that Houston had been my friend for 17 years. And I don't know if that was an inhale at your phone.
No, that was at you.
Okay. Okay.
Sorry. I was just trying to play the part of the audience.
Yeah, well, it worked.
Sorry.
So, except for the fact that Houston and I had been friends for 17 years, and a couple weeks later, we were again playing D&D, and we had left, and Houston looked me dead in the face on the drive back. And he said, "Are you in love with Jamie?" And I broke down because, yes, I was in love with Jamie. And that kind of threw all of our plan into the wind about everyone having a nice, merry, happy Christmas together. Because Houston, in all of his goodwill and all of his saintly personhood, decided, fuck that. You two are in love with each other. You're not going to just go through the holidays and pretend like you're not. And you have a choice to make. And, I mean, the two of us were given an ultimatum. Do we...
Ooh, I hate ultimatums.
Well, do we derail both of our lives and everything we've known and start life anew together and potentially happy? Or do we not? And do we stay where we are, where we're both comfortable, but miserable? And yeah, it was an ultimatum, but it wasn't a really hard one. Because you pick happiness every time. That's the right answer. You pick happy. And so I picked happy. And I ended my 11-year relationship for a woman that I had fallen head over heels, deeply, madly, insanely in love with. And you guys have heard me call her Jamie. And those of you guys who are our dedicated long-term listeners were probably like, oh, I know that name. And it's because she's been on here with us a couple of times. And we have had a few of you email and reach out and be like, wow, Megan and Jamie's chemistry is fucking great.
Yeah.
There's a reason why.
Yeah.
And so I ended my 11-year relationship to be with Jamie. And it was the scariest, craziest thing I've ever done in my life. And it has been the best thing I've ever done in my life. But that's why we had to do a hiatus, because that was a whirlwind of time.
Megan was busy tearing up her life.
Yeah.
And rebuilding it.
Literally. I was...
It's like she had a yard and said, nah, I want a garden.
That's exactly what happened. I was like, let's rip out all this sod and like start planting flowers, man. And it's a beautiful garden and it's flourishing. But it took some time to get set up. So I was homeless for about a week. I lived in...
Well,
What? Okay.
don't say you were homeless.
I wasn't on the
definitely could've-
streets homeless. I was couch surfing homeless.
Well, you definitely had a place to stay here.
Thank you. Thank you. And I know. And thank you to, because I know the people who I did stay with, like our listeners and stuff. So thank you guys so much for giving me that spare bedroom and letting me like exist and try to figure out my life there for a while. And to everyone who like reached out and has been helpful, and to, you know, my friends that helped me like collect 11 years of my life in fucking boxes. And just, there's so many of you that I have to thank, from, as much as I'm sorry to say it, from Houston for making us pull that trigger, to Tyler for being all right with this weird hiatus and not like being like, fuck you, Megan, I'm done, to you know, everyone who was there for me and for Jamie, our tribe who fucking had our back, as we literally have done the hardest, craziest thing in the entire world. And now it's been a bit over a month, and I mean, it's not easy, and it won't be easy for a while, but I can tell you that for the first time, shit, god damn it.
See, well-timed comic relief. Gives her a chance to get it out.
I have been suicidal and wanting to die for as long as I can remember. And for the first time since I've been 7 years old, I have not wanted to die every single day. I have woke up and I have been glad to wake up. And I am actually experiencing happiness for the first time in my life at 30 years old. And I mean, maybe that's horrible and shitty of me to admit, but I have never felt like this. I've never been happy. I thought I was happy. I thought I knew what happiness was, but I didn't. I didn't until now. And now I get it. I get why people are alive.
Well, better late than never.
Yeah.
And, you know, obviously we're all glad you're... Sorry, cough.
It's okay, Tyler. You can cry too.
No. It was a cough. Although my eyes have been watering all week. You wouldn't look at them and think I've been bawling my eyes out all weekend. No, we're glad you made it to 30, and we're glad you're going to make it to 130.
Hell yeah.
So, and just to kind of, like Megan said, me and her kind of had a conversation and got on the same page. You prior to us recording this, and it definitely just to give some perspective from my point of view, I had noticed there was a difference in the effort that both of us were putting in Whiskey and Wonder, and I noticed it. Now, look, I'm just gonna be honest. Like what we talked about, and I noticed Megan was not as into it, and was struggling with it, and that felt like I was carrying the burden of it, and that just at the time was working 2 jobs plus this, and it was just weighing me down, and so I started putting in less effort and less effort and less effort, and next thing you know, we're both barely doing the bare minimum. And that's not what you want to do
No.
in a situation like this. So
No, and it's not what we want to give you guys, and it's
Yep.
it's not what we want this podcast to be. We don't want this podcast to be the bare minimum.
yeah, we want to be successful with this, and we want to more importantly, we want to do a good show and a good product for you guys.
Yeah. We want you guys to enjoy what you listen to and to come back and to refer your friends and to email us. And I mean, we want this to be
like and subscribe, just like it's on the screen there.
Exactly.
Yeah, I forgot to hit that earlier. But we want you guys to enjoy this, and want you guys to be excited for each episode. And it's something that we just weren't. Megan and I needed to have a conversation and get on the same page again, and we've done that, and I think we are on the same page. And I've had a couple ideas that me and her might have talked about. I'm not sure. We need to talk about off air for some things we can do in the future. But yeah, so this is cliche, but I'm going to steal it from Futurama. They were canceled, and then they made some movie versions of it, and then when they were brought back on Comedy Central, the first episode title was Rebirth. And so that's kind of what I feel like this is for us, is for Whiskey and Wonder, and for you and whatnot. It's a rebirth.
100%. That is
So
fucking accurate.
So
So thank you guys so much for listening to me ramble and rant. And I'm going to steal what Tyler said. I mean, I had to dig up my yard to plant a garden. And I am excited to have Whiskey and Wonder be something that's planted in my garden, and a flower that can flourish and bloom and get tended to and de-weed and all the wonderful things that come with having a garden.
Well, I'm excited to get back to normalcy and doing this every week. And for me, I like the production side of it a lot more. I know we've talked about, if I'm not mistaken, our last episode was the Bermuda Triangle. We were going to. It was supposed to be Megan's week, and then I was going to do part 2 on that.
Mm-hmm.
We can go one of 2 ways next week. Megan and I will figure that out. It's either going to be the Bermuda Triangle part 2. So if you haven't listened to that one, I suggest go listen to it after this and refamiliarize yourself. There you go.
There you go. That's a good one.
Or
I can.
I know Megan has part of a topic done.
Yes,
So.
Fun story. I had the whole topic done. I had it completed November something. Went to open it today, opened it, and half of my file is gone.
Always got to back it up.
So now I learned that lesson. And so, I mean, we'll talk off air and figure out if you want to, what order you want to do stuff in, or
Oopsies.
whatever you want. Oh, did you fuck up my camera?
I just put something on the screen. I hit a button. So let me see if I hit
I wonder
this.
if it. Oh, you did it again. Stop it.
This is what happens when we try to get fancy here.
All right.
What if I do this?
Will you? Oh, what are you doing? Stop it! Oh,
All right, I'm gonna stop with that. We're gonna get out of this.
we're gonna move on to seeing what we think about this whiskey.
If I can find the button, it's been so long. I already didn't know my buttons.
Final thoughts.
With water, the banana is gone. Can't find the banana anymore. It walked away. Or swam away, I guess, since it's with water. Water. So water.
I put some water in, but I have not
You haven't
tasted
tasted it yet? So I put a few drops of water in it. Overall, the flavor is fairly the same, minus the banana has gone. And I'm going to have to sip some more and see if that's still the case.
The banana's gone. The banana's gone. Please tell me you get that reference.
I don't.
Oh, there's a Seinfeld episode where, are you a Seinfeld person?
I know soup Nazi. No soup for you.
No.
No?
There's an episode where Jerry's dad is in the hospital and he had to take his pants off. He's in like one of those little gowns and his pants are draped over the chair in the hospital room, and he goes to pick him up and his wallet's not there, and he just starts yelling, "My wallet's gone! My wallet's gone!" All right, let me get. I've been too busy wiping my nose and coughing and talking about Seinfeld episodes to
you go ahead.
sip this.
I think it might have taken away some of the char for me as well when I added water. So this is one that if I have again, I think I'm gonna do an ice ball or something in, because I think I'm liking it more with the water.
It definitely brought vanilla out.
Yeah, made it a
Lost
bit more
the banana,
sweet.
brought out the vanilla. See, for me, I like that banana flavor. It's very
I do
unique.
too. That's Jack. I mean, you can't have Jack without banana. So this doesn't taste like Jack Daniels anymore, but this is all right.
Well, what do you think about it being the Whiskey Advocates Whiskey of the Year?
I think. Oh, this is gonna be mean. I think the whiskey advocate needs to drink more whiskey.
Ooh. Damn.
This is middle of the road, buddy. Jack Daniels Bonded 5. The end.
5.
It's a 5, and I rate high. So.
Lord, my cough is coming back with a vengeance right now. Yikes. I don't know. I need another sip.
You go ahead and take that sip. I mean, like, Jack was my OG whiskey. My whiskey before I got into whiskey. I mean, I was a Jack and Coke person. And then I had a friend introduce me into Japanese whiskey and Suntory Toki, and that's what made me like a whiskey drinker.
Who introduced you to that?
Cat.
Oh, I thought I introduced you to that. Never
Was it
mind
you
then.
or Cat?
I don't know. Might have been Cat.
I think it was Cat. And
No,
then
I
we
think
bonded over it.
I
Or
think I introduced you to
you
Suntory
might have been
Toki.
the one who introduced me to Suntory.
Yeah, and I think Cat might have introduced you. Maybe she introduced you to Japanese, and I knew you liked Japanese whiskey.
That sounds like that sounds like it.
Because I know I had Suntory, because I remember you were asking me, like, where can I find this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you were back in your apartment. That was a long time ago.
Yep. Yeah, where I got good. Sorry. I am very pissed. Spectrum just went up on my internet
Ugh.
for no reason, but I have no other option for internet. So
You
I
pay.
yeah,
You'll pay what we say you'll
yeah. I used to have AT&T fiber, and it was fabulous. Didn't go up a single time in 4 years.
Damn. Throw shade at Spectrum. Fuck them. I'm gonna have to cuff.
Well, I am. I'm going to rate this higher than Megan. I like it.
Okay.
I think it's pretty. I'd go back to this well.
But is it whiskey of the year?
Oh, man. I've got a. Oh, man. It's not whiskey of the year. Not for me. I'm going to give it a solid 7.
Ooh, a 7. Couple points higher.
But it's not whiskey of the year.
No.
I can think of 2, possibly 3, just from what I can see in the cabinet over there that I liked better. So we need to start figuring that out that you're in.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that'll have to be done on. Yeah, we'll figure that out.
We'll figure it out.
Yep.
That's cool.
Okay. Well, you got it right there, folks. 5 and a 7.
Yeah.
And Whiskey and Winter Rebirth.
Yeah. So we look forward to bringing you a good brand new effort to our show, and we thank you guys for sticking around, especially if you got through this hiatus and you're you're here and you're still listening and
Yes.
you haven't left.
And for all
thank
those
you.
people who continued supporting us through that hiatus,
Oh my God.
with donations and Patreon and whatnot, we apologize for not having any content for you.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry, guys, but thank you.
Yes, we do appreciate
Thank you
that.
so much. You helped us more than you realize. So thank you so much, and thank you for trusting in us. And we will show you that that trust has been earned. So thank you so much.
Well, I don't really have anything else. So before I go into another coughing fit, we will see you guys next week.
All right, guys. I guess I will take it away. You all have a wonderful week. We will see you next time. Don't drink and drive. Cheers.